Lee. Sean Lee is furious.
He's upset. But 100%.
Oh, do we have spring here in the New York, New Jersey region? Welcome in, everyone, to a brand new edition of Axe Kick Picks, episode 223. Today is Friday, April the 3rd. The year is 2026. My friend Joe, how are you today?
We've been absolutely busy as combat sports is on fire. You know, it always starts with One Friday Fights. They introduced that inner circle. So if you want to be a member, I guess you got to join in to watch that. I ain't doing that because I've been tuned into, a lot of other things. And if you want to watch something tonight before we get into, another Apex event for the UFC, you have LFA 230. MVP is doing it again. And they're at the forefront of women's combat sports. They're putting on a solid card, headlined by Caroline Dubois. She's defending her WBC and WBO World Lightweight title against Terry Harper. But there are other incredible women on this card. I mean, featured on this card is Ellie Scottney, Mayeli Flores, Irma Garcia, and even our girl Chantel Cameron. Remember, She made us some money back in the day. Yeah. So, hey, women on full display in the MVP card. And, hey, even Zuffa getting involved with their 5th boxing event.
You know what they say? It pays to play.
Yes,
it pays to play. What I've been doing, I've been watching some baseball here. We got a lot of day baseball. That's what I've been doing. Watching some day baseball. Our Mets can't hit.
We can't do nothing.
We can't do nothing right. But yes, good to be with you guys. We got a great episode. We'll recap UFC Seattle. Kid, it might have front runner for card of the year.
Yeah.
I mean, it was fantastic.
It's at the top of the heap right now.
Yeah. I mean, last weekend was one of those special weekends where I was very happy about being a mixed martial arts fan. It went back to back to back. We had the PFL in Pittsburgh. We had Real American Freestyle Wrestling down in Tampa, Florida. That was amazing. You had Bare Knuckle BKFC, which I saw highlights. That was amazing. We had UFC Seattle. That was amazing. It was just back to
back. Everyone was getting submitted, knocked out. Like, this is why we watch. This is why we try to create content. All different podcasts, all different walks, social media. We enjoy this, and we want more out of our fighters, and they deserve more too. We've been advocates for them as well, and I think by them being taken care of, you start getting this type of these type of performances.
Absolutely. So let's start in the Pacific Northwest, beautiful Seattle, Washington, in the middleweight division. Joe Pyfer gets the TKO in round 2 against future Hall of Famer Israel Adesanya.
Lock for the Hall of Fame.
I will say this: he looked good round 1.
Izzy did, right?
And I was watching the fights with Ann, and we looked at each other after round 1. We both scored it for Izzy. But I was worried. I was like, he is standing in front of Joe Pyfer. Like, you don't want to do that. And eventually he got caught.
And it's like, we thought that the power would probably play more of a factor on the feet, right? If Izzy stood there. And I hate to say it with Izzy, he did look good in the first, but this is not the Israel Adesanya that we've known for the past couple of fights. I do see a little bit of a drop in performance, and it may be coming to the matchups as well, because we're getting him against some of these guys that do like to grapple. And like we said, the power wasn't there on the feet for Joe Pyfer, but when he was able to take him down, he showcased it on the mat.
Yeah, it was all around great performance from Joe. And he said after it, I think he went to the corner round 1, he said, hey, we're in a fight. We're in a fight. It's not going to be as easy, but yeah, I think a shift has gone from Izzy, and I think I've seen it after losing to Sean. Like, he's not that kickboxer that he once was. He just wants to stand and bang, it seems like.
He was like trying to get that back, kind of like after the losses he suffered to Pereira, right? He was hunting that knockout. We keep going back to that, predicting the 5th minute KO in the second round. That hit when he finally got that get back from Pereira. But it's like he's kind of looking for that still, to kind of get back on the hump, to get a knockout, get that victory, have the emotions of the crowd flow through him, because we know Izzy to be a performer, entertainer at the forefront, and through his ability to perform is where we get some of the best moments in UFC history. But man, I got to say, it's more of the matchups he's been receiving. And I think for Izzy now, if he's going to stay with the UFC, and I hate to spin it forward on you, but Yeah, I think you got to give him another stand-up. You got another stand-up guy. He's got to
Really?
someone that's not grappling oriented. If you want to keep him, entertaining, if he's gonna go up against shoot me, I've been hearing names nonstop. Like I like more of the guys like a Shower Bullet or like guys that are gonna stand with him more than just try to, get away from Izzy Strong to take him down. You can't blame Joe for doing what he did.
No, not at all. And you saw it. I thought he even tried to play possum a little bit. He looked like he was in danger earlier in the fight, but it didn't look. But then he came out of it, started doing flurry. And this game is dangerous. And it's unforgiving as well. And biggest win of his career. You saw the emotion. I mean, chills. What a speech afterwards. I mean, being suicidal and being vulnerable enough to even talk about it. How are you not a fan of Joe Pyfer?
Yeah, I had him as a rookie of the year that one time. I can understand how, if you don't, do you know the story a little bit though? Like, let's be real about it. Like, he cheated on his girlfriend and threatened suicide against her. That's kind of emotional abuse. Let's be real about it. Like, that's not okay. We are, I think, questioning the sincerity of him coming out and saying all these things, right?
Who's questioning it?
Social media.
Oh,
That's
okay. I haven't seen that.
Yeah, and these are also big name podcasters and all of us in the community talking about it. And I think you two things could be true. Like Joe could actually be going through these things, but at the end of the day, it could be affecting his partner. It could be affecting other people in his life, in a negative light. But I think he just can lock in, right? Just focus on fighting, and like we said, the story of him, the orphancy and everything coming up, like, how could you not back the guy? But when it comes into, starting to justify that type of stuff, I think that's where we all are hesitant and we're kind of like, wait a minute, let's kind of see the full story. So I think you've seen people say it's hard to kind of like Joe Pyfer, but
yeah,
I look at him just in a pure fighting aspect. I think everyone can have an asterisk. All these fighters have different things, different walks of life where they come from. I think you look for him as just a fighter's, basis. He's got power on the feet. I think that's a big X factor at 185, and he certainly could wrestle, drag a lot of guys to the ground, and kind of have his way there. So as a fighter, Joe Pyfer is definitely a threat, and I thought he'd make the top 5. He did not get the top 5.
No, he is up to number 6. Izzy moves down to number 9. So on the pesk of going outside the top 10 for the first time since Nam, I feel like, for Israel Adesanya. Are you a fan of Joe Pyfer?
I gave him the rookie of the year, and I gotta say, I do like a lot of the Philly guys, right? We may not like the sports team as much. We have deep-seated rivalry there. I guess you give credit where it's due. So until he may rub me the wrong way, I'll say I'm a fan of Joe Pyfer, and maybe at this moment in time, just in the fighting sense.
Yeah, because correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like when it is Joe Pyfer week, you usually do back him.
Yeah, and I did it, and then I think maybe, like I said, I was all in on the heart bet with Izzy. I wanted to see him get back on track. It was a tough loss for a lot of people.
Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, I think we got to keep an eye for Joe Pyfer going forward.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, like I said, he is up to number 6. Big fight. Maybe, I know Brendan Allen just got a fight. Maybe Nasser Dean, maybe Fluffy. He definitely has a big fight coming next.
That Fluffy fight, that might be something.
What do you do with Izzy, though? He dropped down 5 spaces.
Bullet.
He's not even ranked, though. I think at this point, you said it. He's a no doubt Hall of Famer. At a certain point, he needs respect, where it's like, do you just give him a CLD? Do you give him a RoboCop? Like, you got to give him someone ranked, right? Because someone has to make their name on Izzy. That's just the game.
That's the game. And it's up to him to get that, back on the horse and get the dub. And you can see why there are a lot of middleweights are bad matchups, because they do have that grappling ability, which is crazy to see the guys that don't have it as they're at the forefront get to the highest level of the UFC, let alone mixed martial arts. So I said that because I thought it was a good matchup. Yeah, I heard a lot of people talking about Izzy and RoboCop. I would be concerned for Israel Adesanya in that, and I think RoboCop can still grapple. So it is about, I think, trying to send up with a match that would keep the fight standing, but you might not get what you wish for.
Yeah. So we'll see, but definitely kudos to Joe Pyfer. Biggest win of his career.
Enough about Joe Pyfer.
I mean, the story has to be Alexa Grasso. Y'all must have forgot, and I'm one of them because what I don't know what. So technically, it's a KO TKO, but she jumped on the
She jumped
RNC
on
quick.
that neck, bro.
And she looked sharp out of the gate, and yeah, Macy was applying forward, applying pressure. But at the end of the day, Alexis Grasso's boxing and that team down in Mexico is no joke. And she caught her.
Is it Lobo? It's Team Lobo, right?
Team Lobo. And she jumped on the RNC immediately. It was a scary sight, though. I'll say this. Why did the cameraman have to keep putting the
on
camera
it? That was a little too much. I think they also make a point in sporting events. If there's an injury or something like concerning, that you're supposed to keep it away from them. And I think I guess if it bleeds, it leads. That kind of stuff can sell, but at the end of the day, you got to respect the athletes. And we know Macy Barber to have health issues in the past. We couldn't have known what would have been an outcome of that type of situation. So glad to see that she's all right. She came out, made a post to everyone that she's doing well. And she
doesn't remember it, which
she don't remember it. That's kind of a little scary. But to go back to the fight itself, the boxing aspect, and I think Macy Barber was landing, but landing to not as much effect as what Alexa Grasso was landing. I think every time Alexa Grasso countered with her punches,
felt it.
Macy felt it. And it showed when she hit that 1-2, and it wasn't even a 1-2. It was like a 1-3. It was like a jab and then a hook, or like it was like a 2-3. It was something along those lines where that hook just caught her, kind of put her out right away. And the choke, when you get knocked out, I think your body's trying to search for oxygen. To have the air supply completely cut off, I think it threw her body for a spin. And that's why she said she didn't remember anything. You had Beltran being in the mix for a lot of crazy finishes on the Seattle card.
Yeah, it was nuts. Yeah, pray for her because she's been through a lot, but it was a very tough scene for Macy Barber. Like you said, she did come out and say, you know what, I don't remember much. I do go on social media and everything I see, it looks like I'm dead. So that's not good, but you got to give credit. Alexa Grasso looked sharp, and I mentioned she was on that little skid. She's bounced back. She's 1 or 2 fights away now, but I still think Natalia Silva is next.
Yeah, I think we kind of have that set that Valentina needs another type of test. I don't want to get Alexa back in there so quickly, but the only person to really, have her give her trouble is Valentina Shevchenko.
I wish there was an applause effect, but give it up for a hell of a career, Michael Chiesa, the Maverick.
Hey, respect there, of course, in his own backyard, all that, but still respect for Nico Price too. Like,
yeah. I think they did him dirty.
And I guess maybe like the situation that we knew it was Maverick coming in, and then you spontaneously retire. Nothing's really prepared for you. But I wanted to also.
I mean, what are they gonna put? A highlight video of Nico Price? No disrespect, but
getting finished. I mean, bro, he's got some crazy knockouts. Remember the one on the ground, right?
No, I know. Yeah, he has the up kick.
He had a bunch of crazy fights, bro.
No,
so
he's cool. Don't get me wrong, but this is the Maverick.
Yeah, and he's gonna be behind the desk. You could tell there's kind of the push there.
Yeah.
That they want to keep these guys as faces, for the
Ultimate Fighter champion.
Yeah.
So you saw the joy with his mom, after his father passed away, just the emotion, him and his wife. Great story. He seems like a really good guy as well. And he gets another submission, just 1 minute and 3 seconds, and he took the back quick. I do think
he's and absolutely intelligent as an analyst as well, dude. I actually do like listening to Michael Chiesa when he's on the booth.
Yeah, I agree. I'm happy for Michael Chiesa. It's hard not to feel happy for him after that. He gets to go out on top. Who gets to go out, get in, not even get a scratch, retire at home?
That's why Nico said I'm out. Nico was like, man, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna come back and be like another retirement fight for somebody. He's like, nah, chill.
And it's funny because I was sitting watching the fight, and I go, yeah, I said, this is a retirement fight. I said, if he goes and chokes him out, or if he loses like bad, Nico, he's got to go too, right?
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, I think he's going to be okay in life. We saw him at jiu-jitsu training with his brown belt. Like there's other things outside of fighting for these guys' lives, and I'm sure he'll continue to live a full one. At the end of the day, that's Nico Price we're talking about. So
yeah, Julian Rosa, Juicy J. He didn't last long. That one was a knockout by Douglas in round 1. That was brutal.
It was favorited to see that odds on the Larian Douglas where the name is not as recognizable, but you see the potential there, kind of like a Topuria light, if you would, and
Yeah.
from the Brazilian category. And yeah, Rose's chin has eroded honestly over the years. I think he's still sensational in moments. There's always a flare up where Julian Erosa can knock you out or submit you. But like we said, throughout the 20 years of fighting for him, the chin has shown its age.
You saw
We
Belagari?
hit, baby.
Oh, plus
Yeah.
money. And yo, he's big, and that's what you get from training with a beast like Pereira.
Bro,
I never seen Mansour Abdul Malik
look like that.
look like that. Yeah.
Bro, we saw it in a sense that Malik had relied on his athleticism. We said that going in, and he does have technical capability, but we saw the muscle mass gas him as the later rounds. Even though he was winning those fights, he started letting his opponents kind of catch up. And we did hit the third round in the verdict prediction, third round KO TKO for Belagri. So, I mean, we kind of hit this fight on the head.
How crazy is that T-Rex Terrence McKinney's never gotten a performance of the night?
That's like
that's remarkable.
Bro, I mean, you gotta work. That's atrocious. That's, you gotta use a better word to describe that, because that's not right. The guy's getting finishes or getting. I don't think he may have gone to the second round a couple of times, but you know that this fight is gonna go and end in the first round. Whether he's gonna knock someone out or tap them, or the same's gonna happen to him. He's a kill or be kill fighter. How could you not love everything about Terrence McKinney and what he brings to this fight game? And we hit. I mean, we hit exceptionally. We said he's going to get a win in under 60 seconds at plus 1,200, 12-1. I mean, we're all over it. And I'm just so happy to see that hit.
Last 7 fights, it hasn't gone to the second round. Do you know the last fight to go into the second round?
Oh, man. Maybe like a Chris Duncan. No, they did a first round thing.
First round.
Yeah. I feel like it was someone tough. It was like a high level fighter.
It was. He's from Strong Island.
Oh, damn, man. I was gonna say like a Faraz Ziam, as maybe one of them, but you gotta wait, no, because he knocked out Frivola like immediately. That was like his introduction to the whole thing. So you're saying it was like someone from Strong? Damn it, you gotta give it to me, bro. I had these.
Nazim Sadikov.
Oh, the Black Wolf.
Nazim got the second round submission, and then before that, he got knocked out in the second round by Ishmael Bonfim. Back-to-back second round appearances, and then he's gone on 7 straight.
He said, never again.
Never. He goes, I ain't beat for that second round. I'm going to get in and get out. But he did wind up coming out after the fight and talking to Ariel and saying, you know what, Dana White did take care of me, but it's just mind-blowing. Like the crazy fights that he's been in, not getting it on paper. I think it's not going to affect us now, especially the hardcore guys, but maybe casuals and the people in the future looking back. You won't see any of the performance bonus on his name. Like, how do we associate some of the greatest athletes of all time? Oh, Pro Bowl. Oh, All-Star game. These things add up. If you don't make that, when the future generations look back at you, they're gonna be like, oh, well, he didn't do that. He didn't make it. And so what is it all worth at the end of the day? I think he deserves some of those performance bonuses. No question about this one. Fight of the night. Ignacio Bahamondes gets the loss. Blood everywhere. Honestly, I did think the other guy won. How do you pronounce his name? Tafiq
Bahamondes?
Yeah, Tafiq Musayev. I
didn't like that he won.
Really?
I can argue that he won, but I didn't like it. I don't know. He controlled most of the mat time.
Yeah.
He kind of got his edge there. I just thought it was just too much on the feet. But you also look at the judges, and we know this to be historically true.
Damage.
Judges look at the damage, and Bahamondes was absolutely opened up. And then losing in grappling and scrambling positions. That's why I said you can argue how Musayev won this fight.
Chase Hooper, man, not a good performance by the Canadian. I know they booed him, but he's from Washington. I mean, you can't boo the guy.
Lance Gibson's pop, fought in the UFC, won his fights. Though this is a legacy fighter right here, and you don't know, Lance Gibson gave King Green a run for his money in his debut short notice fight. I said this. Chase Hooper always looks susceptible on the feet, and we hit the plus 280 with Lance Gibson Jr. I was so happy about that.
I love it. What a mess up by Bruce Buffer giving Marcin to Tybura. And I looked at Ant when he gave the fight to Marcin Tybura. I looked at it, I said, no. I said, no. I said, no way, because he didn't win that fight.
No. And I was like, that's why I was like, I picked Tybura. I was like, we got it. Oh my God, he did not win that shit. And then we're like, hold on, ladies and gentlemen, we have him. And I was like,
oh my God.
Damn, dude, that's not Bruce Ruffer like, but the suit is immortal.
Tyrell Fortune, though, short notice fight, and he said he didn't even fight his best fight. And you see Elvis's cousin in the corner.
Hey, he's gearing up for another fight.
Yes, sir. So in Jersey. So yeah, it was a good win on a short notice for Tyrell. Again, another case. If you must have forgot, Casey O'Neill, sharp. Her shits are registered.
About the over. I thought she was going to be full control. I didn't expect her just putting her up in a cage. And
oh my God. Wow. She hit her with like a 12-piece.
Bro, Gabby Fernandez is no slouch. Like, that's the thing about Casey O'Neill. If you look at her fights, they've all been tough fights.
She's what they what our moms call a tough cookie. That's literally Casey O'Neill. So it was good to catch that.
Hey, Sterling will finally get a finish.
Finally. I was trying to find the words to say it, but it's just like his fights are so boring, in my opinion.
It is. I still think he's got raw potential. It's about mastering that size, his frame, and getting the most out of it there. We got the second round KO TKO prediction correct on verdict.
And then we had the second fight of the night was a draw, which I don't know how. Andre
I'm glad I didn't play a side. I didn't play a side. I'm so happy. Over, hit. Great call.
Ricky Simone should feel lucky.
Yeah, I mean, that was a finish that ended the bell. Like that, so many buzzer beaters.
Well, not even just that. Andre Giannis won the fight.
Yeah. So you're giving him one of the first two rounds as well?
100%. I thought he won the first round.
He wins the first round. He definitely won the third. And that's what the argument was, is that Ricky Simon maybe slipped away with the first two. And then he got a 10-8. He got 10-8 in the damn third round, getting dropped like that and almost getting finished. You could see a lot of fights getting stopped right at the bell. So that's what I thought you were saying. He got away with one there.
and my thing also is, if he didn't get 10-8, he would have won the fight, Ricky Simone, right?
Yeah.
That's crazy to me. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, that is.
But yeah, overall it was a really good card.
I talk about it.
Yeah, I had to go through in length, but overall we did go 2-2, but we hit on plus money with the Bella Cruz guy and Casey O'Neill. We didn't get there with over 2.5 with Izzy in the main event, and then we took Macy Barber via decision. So obviously we lost that by massacre. So yeah, 2-2, but we did get in the positive with some plus money.
And that's the thing, like me, I've been averaging about 50-50 wins and losses. I've been batting about 500 for 2026, but going 7-6 with all the dogs that I had, Alexa Grasso, Berlegri, Lance Gibson Jr., and then hitting the 60 seconds, under 60 seconds with T-Rex, absolutely cashed us some money. So you cannot complain about going 7-6 and making that much plus money.
Let's fucking go. And then real quick, we gotta go to Real American Freestyle. We'll start in the main event. Arman Sarukian. There's no doubt in this one. I love that they buried the hatchet. He's a man of his words, Giorgio Poulos. He gave him the 10 grand and then he donated it because Arman Sarukian is just loaded.
That's what I was going to say. He's either going to take it and be like, you're a man of your word. Here's it right back. But they had better plans. Donate that money.
Yeah, he didn't even need it. So I love it. And he won 9-3 via points. He got that nice takedown to end the match.
Slick, bro. He is just so talented. He already announced that he's going to come and fight Uriah Faber. But
yeah, for RAF 8. And then he's also taking on Dylan Dennis in a submission-only grappling match in Hype, Brazil, April 8th.
Might as well just keep going for it and stay active any way you can without having to collect any punches, because I just see the skill level of Arman Sarukian, and I say he needs to get his title shot. Like, there's no denying this guy is one of the best athletes in the world.
He's a superstar.
He's a superstar. Thank you.
He really is, and people are like, oh, he's doing the most. He has more traction on his page, if you go on social media and look at his page, than the Freedom 250. Supposed to be the biggest card ever that the UFC's, and they don't have the amount of traction that Arman Sarukian is doing. He's mastered social media.
Yeah, and few can do that, honestly.
No,
the fact that he has a grip on us like that, it proves that he needs to be in the spotlight.
It was funny. He went paintball, and I don't know. The footage maybe could have been a few days ago, but he went paintballing. Paintballing.
Yeah.
With I guess a bunch of his buddies, and he was like waving. He was just playing around with his buddy who was I guess streaming him, and I guess one of the guys who works there, just some random guy, was like, "Hey, don't point the gun at the camera." And like Armin just like laughed at it. He was like, "No, like this is my friend." And he goes, "All right, whatever you do, just don't touch the camera. We're gonna fight." And Armin looked at him and he didn't say a word. He just laughed. He goes, he goes, "You want a street fight or you want to mix martial arts? Like, what do you want to do?" Like, this guy's a menace, bro.
Slap fight. I'm taking Armin. Put my money on Armin.
And the funny part was the guy probably had no clue who he was.
No, and that's the thing about
that's the scary part.
That's the scary. They don't know what they're getting into.
No, because you'll get dominated. Just like my boy Dylan Dennis, and it was unfortunate if I'm being honest.
I said you don't think he's gonna be tagged. I do. Remember?
Yeah,
I was like
14-4 in the second period. Dylan Dennis was a good sport about it all, and he had a good conversation with Kurt Angle afterwards. But I'll say this, man:
4 points on Colby Covington. That's actually something.
100%.
For Dylan Dennis to do that, that's something.
And people have to realize some of the positions that Dylan Dennis got on him, if it was a grappling match or something.
If it's a grappling match, I'm taking Dylan Dennis.
Yeah.
It was a wrestling match, and that's why we took Colby.
Yeah, and even Kyle Dake, he had a great performance as Wyatt Hendrickson dominated Trent Hilliger as well. Kenny Blades 11-0. I'll say this, man.
She's so good, honestly.
Yeah.
It's fun watching her. Yeah, Kennedy Blades.
Raph has something, man. They really do. Like the collegiate wrestlers, with
have a place to go, not just fighting now.
With the UFC stars, they're building something. And if I'm gonna say something, I was only in tune to that in the UFC this weekend.
Yeah, and that's what I was just about to hit it before you transitioned us. PFL who? Because I hit the damn 2-legger at plus 604.
No one knew they were fighting.
And Jacob Kazuba, but nobody could watch it. Not even didn't know. Try watching the fight when it's live. You can't watch PFL fights. What are we doing here?
And there were rumors over the week that PFL might go back to the name Bellator. Good.
Make it Scott Coker better show his face.
I'm a big Scott Coker fan, but I was going to say it was just sad because you did have some good guys. Impic Sagana, bro. Yeah. He put out Dalton Ralston in the first fucking round, went to bed. And then Johnny Eblin just submitted Brian Battle in the first. He landed 8 takedowns in 4 minutes. So there were good fights, but it was just like, one, you can't watch it. There was no advertisement. There was no marketing. Honestly, I really wish I saw I wish I saw the numbers. I guarantee you more people watched RAF over the weekend than PFL.
I guarantee it. Fox Nation's ratings are probably through the roof.
And it's only $1.99 to subscribe.
To do that. But you didn't even you can go to foxnation.com and watch it live for free. You really could. So that's how they're doing it. And I bet you're getting traction on the website and any YouTube airings. They're getting viewers up the wazoo.
RIP Hulk Hogan. They really built something, bro.
Yeah.
And I wish he was alive to see it. Like,
actually grow. And within 7 events, it's grown to this amount. So
wow. And then we got the big one in RAF 8. That is going to be sick. That is here in Philadelphia, and you got Merab Dvalishvili taking on Henry Cejudo in the main event, and then you have Uriah Faber taking on Armin Tsarukyan in the co-main event.
Insane. There's a star power.
I'm telling you, you gotta go. Like it's
electric too. Like the atmosphere, the crowd gets into it, and I think it's quick to pick up on. Like the sport is quick to learn. Like you might not know going into if you never experienced wrestling, but once you start understanding, the back positions and taking somebody down and the escapes and how the points work, I think you get a grasp of it very easily.
Yeah, I love it. I love RAF. But PFL Pittsburgh, by the way. 2 quick finishes in the chief support and main event. Like I said, Johnny Eblin. I like Brian Battle, but
mismatch
very much. We were talking about Johnny Eblin being a top 10 middleweight in the world.
He still is with that wrestling pedigree. Look how look how it does.
So
Wrestling can lead the way.
I like Johnny Eblin. I really do. He needs to step up at this point. He really does. And I
Can I sign on with the UFC?
and that's my point. I just don't know if the PFL/Bellator can give that to him, and that's my worry.
No, it's just it's like holding Dakota hostage, right?
Yeah.
It's like holding some of their stars hostage.
Impa Kasangana, good to see him get back. He knocked out Dalton Rosta in the first period. I thought that was really good. Andre Limsky Del Silva, she gets her first win in the PFL unanimous decision win.
Yeah. Yep.
That's about it. After that, I really didn't watch it.
Yeah, other fights, but
yeah, I know you hit yours, but other than that, kid, how did we do over the weekend?
Yeah, so just a 7-6 in the UFC, and then hitting it with the plus 604 in that parlay. Like I said, Jacob Zuba, Polish Power. Got to keep an eye out for the Polish fighters, and then Dakota Bush. I've been familiar with Dakota Bush since his first stint with the UFC. And fighting in a lot of regional promotions. The kid's good. To be that big of a dog, I didn't see it. He's really good on the mat, but he got a knockout on the feet. So, like I said, don't be surprised if those guys won, and they did.
Let's go. All right, kid, let's get to UFC Vegas 115. But before we do that, a quick word from our sponsor. We're about to each and every episode by by Viva Tequila Seltzer, the most refreshing hard seltzer on the market, hands down. No wonder why Viva was voted #1 hard seltzer in the world by San Francisco World's Favorite Competition. With only 88 calories, 0 carbs, 0 sugar, and a light 4.5 ABV, Viva is the perfect drink for your post-game celebration, as it was created with that active lifestyle in mind. We flavor tequila seltzer because flavor is the spice of life, and we like our drinks. So just a kick, just like how we like our lives, whether it's Huckleberry playing around the golf with the boys or an elderberry watching UFC Vegas 115. It doesn't matter. Our favorites pair perfectly with that Artisanal Blanco for that subtle and refreshing drink. Our belief here at X Kick Picks and at Viva is to live long, live well, and live it up. All right, okay, let's get to the meta apex for UFC Fight Night headline. Bunny by Money Morgano in the lightweight division against Chris Duncan, the Scottish psychopath. I love him.
He could be that, bro.
He could be anything he wants.
What's his nickname? It's the problem, right? Chris
It's the problem. Yeah.
Problem Duncan. He is a problem.
He is. And my favorite fight is the chief support in the women's strawweight bout. Vina Kakara Janjarova taking on Baby Shark Tabitha Ritchie. That is supposed to be a good one. Ethan Ewing or
Ewing. It's like
Ewing.
Yeah, it's like our boy Patrick Ewing.
Other than that, though, kid, our boy starting off the card, Kai Kamaka the third.
Oh, bro, you get him at -140 here. How can we not pick him? You and I are both on the same page here, right?
I only have 3 picks, and he's one of them. I mean, I've been backing him since he wasn't in the UFC. The guy is a beast. Yeah. And for him to put him on the first fight on the card.
First fight back, yeah.
That's my guy. Yeah, I'm backing him at -140. That was a no-brainer for you, though.
I think, because they're looking at Dakota Hope and saying that he's got potential, but that's just that. We've seen potential not pan out well when you have proven athletes like a Kai Kamaka III, almost winning the title in the PFL, and everywhere else he's done successful. And his UFC stint was not unsuccessful as well. He's won a lot of fights. He's got a lot of experience, a lot of cage time. And I think at -140, it was a no-brainer to take him with the first fight. So it is a lightweight fight, though. I think he could fight at featherweight or lightweight, but they're doing this on a short notice at lightweight. Am I correct? Right, 155?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Dakota Hope +135, Kai Kamaka 140. I don't think going forward, if Kamaka gets any type of matchup like this, you're going to see him at this price. So -140 for Kai Kamaka III. Now let's go to the flyweights. We'll keep it rolling. And Deone Barbosa is -115. I think Melissa Gata always brings it tight at +110, but I'm going to just simply go with the over 2.5 rounds here. I got a couple of those totals that I'm going to go back to the well with. So I'm just seeing, unfortunately, as many finishes we got with the UFC Seattle card, I think we may temper some of our expectations with the women fights, especially. So I'm going to go over 2.5 rounds in this next fight. But, we got our boy Tresean Gore here. I mean, he is a big dog. +535 taking on Azamat Bekaev in the middleweight division. Bekaev, I mean, it's too talky to take. I can't back a guy. He's getting this much favoritism, and I've seen him fall flat in his face in his last 2 outings, right? They had high expectations for Bekaev, but also they look back at his resume and say that there was question marks throughout. And I don't know if there was any, flags. In the Tapology and the verdict now, they'll flag fights if they're deemed illegitimate. I don't know if I remember seeing any of that for Bekaev. It's not like he has a new name like that other dude. Remember that guy? But I just think I can't back a guy who's not as physical as Tresean Gore here. And we've been capping Trayshawn pretty solid here. We know when to back him, we know when to fade him. And I just think at this spot, and we've been picking up value in 2026. How could I not take a South Carolina local, met him in person, Trayshawn Gore plus 535?
Good guy.
Absolutely right. And now I think this is an exciting fight. Alice Pereira minus 130 taking on Haley Cohen plus 125. Another women's fight where I'm going to have to go with the over 2.5 rounds here. I'm not expecting women's fights to get finishes in this event, unfortunately. So it's hard picking a side with how close these odds are and how close you see the records being. I'm going to just play it safe. And maybe you guys want to parlay it, but I'm just giving you the straight, totals. I'm going to go over 2.5 rounds here in this one as well. So, but man, a lightweight matchup that's next for Lando Venata. Minus 200 here, taking on Darius Flowers at plus 200. And I think just simply off credentials, I got to go more with Venata. And I got to just take him on the money line here. Don't think the submission's on the table, though. It could happen if Flowers tries to, dive in on a takedown. Venata, I think, has a pretty slick guillotine. He may have some other groundwork there, but what his his strengths are. It's going to be on the feet. It's going to be with his spinning attacks. It's going to be with his kicks. So I just think there's going to be a little too much there for Venata. I just got to stay away from Flowers' power. So give me Lando Venata minus 200.
Flowers power.
You like that, right? A little play on words. But this, is an interesting fight. This flyweight matchup, I think Alessandro Costa could be the real deal here too. A dark horse of the division, if you would. Minus 330 taking on Stuart Nickel, plus 335. I think people are going to try to take that minus 330 down with a Costa inside the distance or something along those lines. I just think Stuart Nickel is pretty tough here. And though, coming across the world, halfway across the world here, I think for both guys, 125 may want to pick Alessandro Costa with the decision, but I'm playing down the middle again. I'm going to go over 2.5 rounds. Yeah, I just think, I think too many people are going to be back in the finish for Costa here. You maybe have some dog hunters for the Nickel side, but I'm going to play down the middle, going total again. I'm going over 2.5 rounds. But let's get to now. I'm seeing a kind of a short preliminary card. No,
this is the main event in the
main
prelims.
Event of the prelims. Yeah. So we have a heavyweight matchup between Thomas the Train Peterson, right?
Yes,
minus
sir.
125 here. And I just hate the spot for him. I really do. We get in favorite. I think backing him as a dog actually has been, a little more profitable. And the times that he's been favored, he's actually lost. So I'm going to pick Guilherme Pat plus 105. So slight dog here, but I just think a 6-0 guy can maybe surprise a lot of us. But a Thomas Peterson, his name in the game is going to be take you down and try to grind you out. If he's unsuccessful in doing so, Pat may catch him. So I'm going to go with Guilherme Pat as an underdog. And that'll do it for the preliminary card. When you get involved, you're not going to be touching until about the featured bout, maybe a co-main.
The chief support and the main event.
All right, let's do it. So
I'm being selective. I don't really like the card.
No, but me, I always like giving out these picks, and I try to break it down as best I can. And you actually have been sharp with actually being very precise with your pick. So let's just get right into it. Featherweight matchup here for Robert Ruchala. Man, Jose Delano has actually looked pretty good though. I can understand why they're making him a minus 280 favorite as compared to Ruchala's plus 275. But you can't doubt the Polish power, right? Like every now and then they can drag these fights out. So as much as you see a minus 280 for Delano, people probably playing the submission, probably playing the knockout. You can maybe go the decision on his bet. And a Ruchala, I think it's probably a decision victory or loss for him. I don't see him getting finished. So I'm over 2.5 rounds again. I got 4 totals, and all of them are overs. So yeah, over 2.5 rounds to start up the main card. But not so fast on this next one. I actually think the odds indicate something correct here. We've seen Manolo Zecchini a bunch of times come out here and just get flatlined. And I think he may have surprises with a win, like maybe in the middle of lost streaks. But I just think that Tommy Gunn is going to get him out of there. I do like the way Tommy McMillan fights. Minus 800 is, very chalky. But I still don't know how to really cap Tommy McMillan. And Tommy Gunn makes me think that he can probably get a submission. But his dog in him can let me think he, back Zecchini into the corner, right against the cage and just start firing off shots just like Casey O'Neill. So I think anything's on the table here. And you're probably going to have to put Tommy Gunn in some sort of parlay to get those odds if you're playing him on the money line. But I am just taking him straight up here, just as a straight pick. I think it's outmatched. It's just like maybe this next fight here for the bantamweights, Rafael Estevam is 16-0. And he is a dog in this fight, plus 130, because Ethan Ewing is -125, and we saw how good
He's a dog.
He surprised a lot of us coming out and how high level he actually is, right? Uriah Favors, right? A1 Combat, and I think he actually is a star in the making here. Alpha male. I mean, I think he's Professor Finesser. He really is that. He's going to finesse the books here. You got to take Ethan Ewing at -125. Yeah, I love that pick. So the featured bout does consist of a very mismatched fight. As much as maybe we talked about the Tommy McMillan against Malozicini, man, Abdul Rahman Yakayev, I think, is going to dispose of Brendan's Ribeiro. Like, let's be real. Like, it's -1,200 plus 1,200 either which way. So we got to go with the Yakayev first round KO TKO just to get the odds out. I just think it's going to be not an under 60-second type of beat, but look what happened in his debut, right? Came out of the gate, stormed this dude, and I think he could do the same to Brendan Ribeiro. I think I took Ribeiro one time just based off maybe his athleticism could come into play and get a victory, but his skills do not match up at all with what Yakayev is bringing out there. So to bring a 12-1 favorite down, you're going to have to take it specifically and over the top specifically with the first round KO TKO. I'm seeing it favorited. I'm seeing it -110. So that's how crazy this is. But I'm going to have to let D-Rock take a hold of this co-main event. The chief support consists of I think a very high level fight here and one that's going to make waves in the titles contention. The strawweight matchup has Dana Kakara Jandiroba, D-Rock's favorite nickname in the entire UFC. -120 here, taking on maybe one of my favorite nicknames, Baby Shark, Tabitha Ritchie at +120. Hate that they did that April Fool's joke with Callum Walsh for Tabitha Ritchie coming here in this spot. But
I saw that.
What's your decision on this fight?
I mean, if you didn't know, now you know. It's my favorite nickname. It was unfortunate that she had to lose to Mackenzie Dern, but she is. I like Baby Shark. Don't get me wrong, but I just think she lacks the size to give Jandiroba any problems here on the ground. And I feel like once Verna takes you down and controls your back, it's pretty much over. She's going to be the bigger fighter in the cage. She also carries a 3-inch reach advantage. So at 37, she's also going to be the more experienced fighter coming off a championship loss to Mackenzie Dern. I think she's trying to make a run at the belt again, trying to put the last fight behind her. She's big for the division. She's extremely experienced, and she's faced the elite of the division as well. So I just think it's going to be a bad matchup for her. -125, I think, is a really good price. Once she transitions this fight to the floor, her size is going to eventually be too much for Tabitha Ritchie. So give me Verna Kakara Jandiroba money line -125.
And I guess just, I'm on the other side, just based on principle here. So we're, head to head for at least one matchup. I do agree with everything you said. I thought the line would have been more favored for Verna. I thought that she might have been a -200 here. And just because you see Richie's performances, up and down. She's going to have to, take control of the fight by taking you down and not letting a Jandiroba take your back. You're exactly right in that. So I'm just hoping that a smaller fighter just look at the aesthetics, look at the physique of Tabitha Ritchie. You could see she's in tremendous shape. She absolutely is going to have the strength and she's going to have the cardio. I've never seen her gas with all the muscle that she has. So I'm just hoping that her physicality can maybe take away maybe her wrestling, which she utilizes very well. And though it's not the most exciting fight style, I think she can grind out a victory to, like you said, an aging Jandiroba. That's the only thing that kind of gives me pause. Only a few of these fighters, both men and women, are able to, kind of play against Father Time. Father Time is the only one that's undefeated. So yeah, I'm on the other side. I'm going to take Baby Shark and just see her try to get past a, title challenger. This is kind of a benchmark test.
This is her last run, Verna.
Yes, certainly. And you could say the same for Ritchie. Even though there's an age discrepancy, we've seen her get to this point and not be able to get past these fighters. And so you get knocked down. It's not like you're going to get back up. Yep. Mm-hmm. But we made it to the main event of UFC Vegas 115. It's in the lightweight division. You have Manny Moicano, Renato Moicano at +150. So the odds makers, and I think the public are also seeing that Chris Dawkins is absolutely a problem here. And he's -150, and that's just a line that I want to take because I just think that on the feet, as much as we've seen Moicano can take you down and butcher like a BSD, right? And I've seen Chris Duncan pull something out of his ass every time he gets to the mat. He's able to get up and just start landing shots on you against the cage or something. He just makes it funky in there, makes it tough. And I think the biggest X factor is going to be the damage he can give a fighter on the feet. So My money's on Chris Duncan in the main event here for UFC Vegas 115. I'm actually expecting a lot of Chris Duncan in the future.
Yeah, I was very surprised by the line movement in this fight. Money Marcano opened up a $2 favorite, but we've seen massive money come in, and now Duncan is almost a $2 favorite. I understand why. I mean, Renato Marcano hasn't looked good in his last 2 fights, and, I think his advantage where he wants to get this fight is on the ground, in the grappling department. The question is, though, can he get Duncan there? I don't think so. Duncan, he loves to keep this fight standing, and that's where he has the advantage. He's going to force Money Marcano to stand up in a war where he has the advantage. And as long as he doesn't get wild and he stays calculated and doesn't get caught, I think it's going to be over for Money Marcano. Duncan, I think he arrives in this fight, tremendous momentum. He has a striking advantage, and I think he's eventually going to catch him. I don't see the fight going too long. Official play under 2.5 rounds at -132.
Hey, we may not live with our lives, but we will leave with our freedom. Scotland, stand up.
Let's fucking go. Kid, enjoy the UFC Vegas 115. Like I said, prelims go off at 5 p.m. on Paramount Plus, and main card starts at 8 p.m. on the East. Kid, new sponsor alert. We love to welcome Kalshi to the team. AKP is now presented by Kalshi. Make real money predicting sports. Kalshi is available in a ton of states, and once you trade $10, you get $10 with our promo code ROCK with 2Ks24. That's Kalshi, promo code ROCK24. Kid, let's get to some news. We got some really good fights that were announced. Yaroslav Amavov is going to take on Joel Alvarez, UFC 328 May 9th.
Well, they're moving Alvarez to welterweight?
Yep. What a fight.
He don't have to kill himself to make 155 anymore. That's, I think, the biggest knock you've seen with Alvarez. But I saw him as a title threat at 155.
He's a title threat anywhere.
He's the same at 170. Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Oh, my God.
And you beat Amaslav, the pedigree that he has.
Yep.
I think that does a lot for your career.
Big step up in Cameron Smootherman. Kai Asakura is moving up to bantamweight to take him on UFC Macau, May 30th. China. Yep.
I got to give credit to Asu Almabayev stepping on that fight, because I think you're going to try to capitalize on a downtrodden Smotherman.
No. It's Cameron Smotherman.
Yeah, Cameron Smotherman. That's what I'm saying. Asu Almabayev is stepping up to 135 to fight Smotherman, right?
No, Asu Almabayev is fighting Charles Johnson.
Oh, so who was fighting? You just said. I thought you said
Kai Asakura.
Kai Asakura?
Yep.
Oh my God.
He's going up to bantamweight.
And he was a big flyweight too, right?
Yeah.
So I'm glad we still got him. That the UFC's not letting him go back to Risen.
That's good.
Yeah. Kai Asakura, absolute threat. I was gonna give credit for Almabayev, jumping up to 135 to take on a Smotherman who was, like I said, a little downtrodden after that loss, right? He came in high against Ewing.
Yeah, exactly.
And then he absolutely passed there. So I think still kudos to Kai Asakura trying to capitalize on this momentum swing.
Almabayev, like you mentioned, he is taking on Charles Johnson, UFC Baku, June 27th.
Oh, Azerbaijan gets lit.
The crowd was lit in Azerbaijan.
In the world, 100%.
But that's all the news I got. Just a few cards that were announced, but we will end across the pond tomorrow afternoon, London, England. Deontay Wilder taking on Derek Chisora. Should be a hell of a fight. Obviously, main event. What do you got?
Misfits Pro and associated with Queensberry presents Chisora versus Wilder 100. And you got to take Wilder via KOTKL.
Yeah.
Plus 225 here. You just which other way for him to win. I just see him hunting to finish. He's probably himself not going to want to go to the judges. So though he's favored here. Actually, I see Wilder as a dog. Am I mistaken?
I'm not looking at the odds.
I see Wilder as a dog. That is a mistake by the books. If you guys want to jump on the money line for Wilder, be my guest. But for the most parts, Wilder is not going to.
Oh my God, Deontay Wilder plus 160.
He's not going to outbox you. He's just going to knock you out. And so Wilder via TKO is plus 225, and that should be a lock.
I'm looking at the TKO Deontay Wilder KO TKO plus 235. I'm looking at.
Oh, it's
right
going
now.
up. I like that. Plus 35. Give me that.
It's the Bronx Bomber. How can I fade him?
No, you can't. Not in his return fight. He's
No.
gonna catch him.
He's gonna catch Derek. Kid, I appreciate the hell out of you. Thank you so much. We got a banger of a card next week. Let's stay locked and loaded. Let's stay consistent. Everyone, enjoy the week. Enjoy the weekend. Hopefully, you guys have good weather. Good luck on your picks, and we will see you guys next week. Peace.